Hey everybody, welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. This is really exciting for me as I enter another phase of my career in front of a camera as a podcaster. No longer the Queen of Jeans on QVC HSN. Now we're going to take a little walk down memory lane, and I will reintroduce myself as a designer of outrageous denim and leather pieces for some of the rock and roll greats of the 60s into the 70s. Iris Sappho. She was unbelievable. I never met anybody with a taste level like that and a quality of collecting and hoarding. And if she loved it, whatever object it was, and for me, I made embellished jeans for her, and I would come into her dressing room, her green room, with a pile of them, and then she would wear them on air and sell her jewelry with them. But you could really go all out with Iris. The more bold, the more outrageous, the better. I loved it. I took felt, I cut out with pinking shears flower petals and made 3D flowers on her jeans. And Iris was all about too much is never enough. And God bless her. She lived to be almost 103 years old, and the world misses bright lights and creative geniuses like her. But those years that she was on, those were fun years for me. Okay, so now we're going to talk about what I felt connected to the music industry was going to be my greatest opportunity. Was just sure fate had put me in the correct position to skyrocket, which sadly was not altogether true. But I was #1 fashion personality at HSN. Elvis had made this huge comeback after, I think, not being in live concert for almost 10 years. And the outfits he had, white leather, fringe, giant jeweled cabochons, stunning. Oh my God. They were like a dream for somebody who had done all those kinds of embellishments in denim in the 60s and the 70s. How did this come about? How did I feel I was going to have a chance to actually feed into all that luxurious excess of embellishment? Well, it turns out in the heyday of tele-retailing, QVC and HSN, people with huge names and a huge curious audience either came to you on the way up or on the way down. One day, as the #1 fashion entity for tele-retail internationally, I get a call from the CEO and they say, "We've got an opportunity for you. We have Priscilla Presley." Oh my God, Priscilla Presley. Now, the minute I think of Priscilla Presley, of course, I think of Elvis Presley. And when I think of Elvis Presley, I think of the years he played Vegas and his big comeback. Now, he wasn't necessarily in denim, he was in leather, but you treated the two the same way as a source of embellishment and aggrandizement. And I'm thinking, oh, MG. There's going to be 8,000 different ways to do embellished jeans, embellished jean jackets, leather inserts, fringing. Oh, my mind is just going boggled. And I go out and I buy every book on Elvis. And I'm looking at every single outfit and I'm taking notes and I'm cataloging and I'm putting together how big are the jewels and what are the colors and what's multicolored and what isn't. And there's a lot of white leather and black leather and how do I interpret that? And I get together. I must have done 50 embellished jeans in a heartbeat. I was so inspired. Plus, I loved Elvis's comeback and I loved his music. However, Priscilla Presley was divorced from Elvis. And it never occurred to me that there would be an NDA where they might say to her, you cannot draw from anything directly attached to Elvis Presley. So I'm thinking, Oh my God. This is a gold mine. This is the opportunity of a century for a denim designer who had really cut my teeth in the industry on embellishment and every form of it, including hand painting. So I get together the whole presentation for her, but, and this is a huge but, in the world of designing for celebrities, you are beholden to the celebrity. And whatever the entity is that is promoting that, and that is also her managers and her handlers and her stylists, you are going to do what the celebrity wants to do. So we get together. Everybody's in a big room, including the CEO of the network and the president of the network. And I mean, it's scary. It's big time stuff. And I go to make this presentation, and she looks at me, Priscilla, like I'm from outer space, literally an alien. And it's so uncomfortable, and she doesn't say anything. And it's, well, what would you like to do? Priscilla's handlers say, well, Priscilla dresses only in Armani suits. We'd like to do something representative of Priscilla. And what would that be? And I thought, no, oh my God. Try to tell them that the fabrications we'd have to put into Armani suiting and the amount of workmanship is not at the price level that's conducive to sales, but you're dealing with celebrities and they don't know about sales and they don't need to. She carried a huge viewership with her name, and all you needed to do was plug her Mrs. Presley, but she was allowed to keep her name, into a category that represented her life with Elvis, and you would have had a gold mine. Now, Priscilla wanted what she felt was representative of her right now as someone who was breaking into the acting career and was trying to become a big personality in Hollywood, and it was Armani suiting. And that was the end of my fever dream of, is Elvis, have you cited Elvis lately? Yeah, I had, and I did. And it broke my heart. That was one opportunity where I can honestly say, if I had been able to harness that and take advantage of it, it would have been career changing, life changing. Oh, so sad. Ladies, there's nobody who treasures good skin more than me. As someone who's been on television for 30 years, always in front of a camera, and now as a podcaster. And I have to say that one of my major tricks to staying young with smooth skin is Sleep and Glow pillow. And you're saying, really, Diane? A pillow? Yeah. The way this is configured, your skin never, especially if you're a side sleeper like me, your skin never gets scrunched down and in. You never wake up with those overnight wrinkles, which eventually will go from temporary to permanent. It is comfortable. It sets your neck and your spine in the right configuration, but most of all, no more of those deep creases when you wake up and look in the mirror. It's like, whoa. So it is a game changer. And if your skin is aging, if you are in your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, like me, and you really want to slow down, that the visual hands of time, you need a Sleep and Glow pillow. And I'll tell you what, you're going to love it once you start using it, because great skin always starts when you sleep. So use my code below for a discount at sleepandglow.com and start sleeping smarter and start sleeping more beautiful. Then Wendy Williams. I got a chance to do Wendy Williams' collection. It wound up going to somebody else, but I have a Wendy Williams story. So Wendy comes to meet me in my dressing room, and the first thing she says is, I'm excited you might do my collection, or let me tell you my design philosophy. That's not really your hair. I said, yes, this is my hair. Oh, it can't be. Come out in the hallway. Okay. Come out in the hallway. She says, bend over and touch your toes. She starts searching my hair for extensions. This was the conversation we had. And eventually she wanted to do very tailored kind of office wear, and it didn't really work out for us, but I'll never forget that. Also because I was not really a big salon girl or a big, I've got to get ready and have every hair in place kind of girl. And I was pretty clueless about extensions. I had no idea really and truly what she was looking for. Now I would actually like to say, Wendy, thank you for educating me. I could use a few. Then I went on to do a collection for several years called Hot in Hollywood. And that was with somebody who was married to the co-CEO of Lionsgate Studios. Well, the idea was kind of fabulous, which was obviously Lionsgate Studios knows every star in Hollywood and came out with so many movie franchises. So what did those women wear? Where did they get their stuff? So they flew me out to Beverly Hills, and I went to my first Emmys Awards to see what were stars wearing on the red carpet. And that was so much fun. Here's the wild thing about going to the Emmy. About the first 6 or 8 rows have all the cameras tuned on them, because also if you won an Emmy or you were going to be a co-host, you were sitting in one of the front rows, and then you went to side and up on stage. Oh my God. This was very instructive. Good evening gowns, good purses, good shoes. And then when you got beyond that, guess what? People were coming in their golf clothes. They didn't care. It was just typically Hollywood. It was what was in front of the camera. So I got my first real look at behind the scenes Hollywood, made for camera Hollywood, and the myth of Hollywood. And that was a fun period, doing what was hot in Hollywood, because there wasn't so much streaming at that time. Everything was pretty concentric. I stayed at the Bel Air Hotel. Oh my God, that was so beautiful. Just the difference between how people are off camera, how people are in their conversation, how they light up the minute the camera is on them and they realize that whatever they say is being memorialized. Taught me a lot about being on TV and even being a podcaster. My last celebrity attempt, HSN, was Christy Brinkley. Now, it's a natural, right? Christy Brinkley, beautiful, female model, iconic, enduring. Now I'm going to get a chance to meet Christy Brinkley because I'm going to do a fashion collection for her. I thought this could be a pretty good match. She lives out in the Hamptons. Pardon me, it's a more laid-back life. Jeans are a big part of it. Jean jackets will work. Peasant skirts, peasant tops. I was good at all of it. She never came in for one meeting. We get everything together. And do let me say that this is not atypical of celebrities. Celebrities get signed up for, oh, we're going to design a fashion collection for you. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. This is not the main part of their life. This is not their main talent. It's probably not even their biggest interest. And at the very last minute, we get a phone call, like from her agent. Christy says there's too much traffic on the Long Island Expressway. She doesn't want to come into Manhattan today. Do you know, we wound up never seeing her. And the problem is, you can design a perfect collection, but celebrities are all very, very concerned with signing off on every piece. On the other hand, have absolutely no cognizance of, if you're manufacturing in China the way we were at the time, schedules and ship dates, and no, didn't happen. My karma with Christy Brinkley is not good. And I was actually dying to meet her and felt I had a really good grip on her personality for a collection. So those are my HSN stories. And thank you for taking a walk down memory lane with me as I approach 80 years old. And a lot of this becomes sort of very vintage historian. May you all always be too young to be old.
Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website, thedianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.